Hey guys, Nick here, and today we are getting into part 13 of What If Madison's family joined Rick. We are getting into Rick and Shane going to King County, while the remainder of the group, which you can check out all of them in the last part, and we'll get more disclosure on this in this part, are staying with Morgan to make sure he doesn't do anything crazy. But Rick and Shane are in King County right now to see if Dwayne is really there or not, at Morgan's old house. Now, the house is decayed and overgrown, but not as much as we saw in Fear when Morgan revisits it. When the two get there, Rick says to look everywhere and anywhere, inside the house, outside the house, anywhere Dwayne could possibly be, whether he is alive, whether he is dead, whether he is a walker, it really doesn't matter, as long as they scour every which and where of the house, even looking to see if Morgan was telling the truth about shooting Jenny, because at this point Rick's starting to believe a little bit of what everybody's been saying, and just wants to see if it actually holds up. So, Shane agrees, and the two search everywhere. They begin to search inside the house first, at different corners, obviously, because splitting up ground, even though Shane came because it was safer, splitting up ground at least inside the house would be for the best. Soon enough, they do come across the body of Jenny, and it is not as decayed as it was whenever we see it with Morgan in Fear the Walking Dead, because we're still 12, 13, 14 seasons of both Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead earlier than when we saw this. So, yeah, obviously it's not going to be as decayed. Soon enough, Rick and Shane make their way inside, outside, every corner, which and where of Morgan's house. And besides Jenny's decayed walker body, they find nothing. And it really just goes to show maybe Morgan was telling the truth. Or maybe he's still hiding something, because Dwayne's still not anywhere here. And this could prove a little bit of trouble, especially back to the people back at the apartment. But then, right when they're about to leave, they hear something. It's coming from inside. A light creaking and banging noise. They go inside to where the noise is coming from, and they find a door that they didn't open yet. And the door leads to some kind of secret room, like an attic or a cellar. And they're surprised that they didn't hear this before. They had sworn that they'd check every part of the house. But Rick says it really doesn't matter at this point, that they should just check it. Because if there's any way that Dwayne could be here, this is the only way. Otherwise, it's just some random walker. But when they get up there, it is a walker. Dwayne's walker. The same walker we see in Fear the Walking Dead Season 8. And obviously would be way less decayed, but his face would still be torn apart because he was bit by Jenny. But he would still be way less decayed because of way earlier time. He would be almost like a fresh walker at this point. And sure enough, this just confirms to Rick and Shane that Morgan wasn't lying. He wasn't hiding anything. Sure, he might have hid what fully happened to Dwayne after the whole bite incident, but he wasn't lying about him getting bit or anything. He was just lying about keeping where the location was. I mean, it's his kid. And with how crazed he must have been afterwards, it's no wonder. And Rick feels like he messed up here. So he walks forward and shoots Walker Dwayne straight in the head. And this would be a pretty much representation of what he did to Sophia in the original, because remember, that never happened here. And Nick is the one who killed Chris back at the farm. It was way different circumstances, so this would almost be like Rick doing it to Sophia here. This is Rick's first turn of character in this story, because he really hasn't lost anyone or nothing bad's happened to him so far. Back at the apartment, Morgan just flashes all of a sudden. His eyes become red with alert, and he is in the clear state of mind, because he can't even place it himself, but he feels that something has happened. But with his cold, clear state and his crazy state of mind, he doesn't even know what he's doing himself. It all becomes a blur, and all he sees is red, like he has before. And with strength unlike anyone we could have seen up till this point, whether he's in cuffs or restraints, it doesn't matter. Morgan breaks free of them within the flick of 2 seconds. And everyone is surprised by this, because this happened so fast. It's like Morgan just snapped. He was so quiet after Madison left him alone. And it's like that didn't even matter, because they don't know what's going on. And then Morgan grabs the closest thing to him, the weapon he used to try and stab Rick. Because remember, that didn't happen here. He grabs a knife and goes to kill someone, anyone, because he's not thinking clearly. Madison goes to try and stop him, because not any of them have experienced craziness to this level. But she gets her arm sliced instead. Travis then tries his hand and makes sure that Madison's out of the way before he does do that, so that way she doesn't get hurt anymore. But Travis tries his hand in trying to restrain Morgan, but he's just absolutely no match. We've seen how angry Travis can get, but it's just not enough. Crazy Morgan is just far too cunning and strong for him. Not maybe cunning, but just too angry and strong. And Travis is just no contest. He gets stabbed in the neck by the knife and pushed into one of Morgan's traps. And if the knife stab to the throat didn't kill him, getting thrown into one of Morgan's traps most certainly definitely did. And Travis is hereby dead. Living to a season 3 at least, far longer than he would have in the original story, so there's that. Strand then goes into attack, putting Morgan to the ground and putting him in a similar fight to how they did in season 6, but obviously way different given the circumstances, the place, the character development, just everything about this fight would be different. And Strand is fighting for Madison and the family now. He's not fighting for himself yet. Daniel cuts the tension short with his gun, shooting Morgan straight in the chest, ending his assault on everybody. Strand then takes the opportunity to right-cross Morgan straight in the face, putting him down, if he wasn't already from the gunshot to the chest, and Madison aims her gun furiously at Morgan, not only to put him down, but because he literally just killed her husband. Just then, as luck would have it, Rick and Shane appear just with convenient timing, and Rick yells at everybody asking what the crap are they doing? Everything was put in stone. He told them specifically not to engage, unless Morgan engaged first. So he demands an explanation as to what has just happened. Strand says that they didn't do this of their own accord. Strand said that he wanted to do it at first, but he chose against it. But then Morgan all of a sudden snapped, killed Travis, sliced Madison's arm, and the only reason they were about to kill him is because he snapped first, and say that he should have just killed him to begin with, but he wanted to be nice. Hearing this, Shane just knew he should have expected something like this from Strand, but not everybody else. And even though it's very highly, pretty much impossible, he does have a very good explanation as to why Morgan might have snapped. And he goes on, because this is still tame Shane. He hasn't done anything besides the governor exposing to really change his character. So he leaves Rick to tell the story. Rick says that when they got to Morgan's house, they found nothing but a cellar with Dwayne's walker. And it just goes to show that while Morgan might have been keeping where Dwayne was after he got bit a secret, he wasn't lying about his story. And he put him down because he felt responsible for going along with this. So we put him down for the greater good. Morgan all of a sudden flashes his eyes open again, but this time they're blood red, like we saw in season 5 of the original story. Now, the whole thing of his eyes then were because he got shot, but here I'm doing that not only because he got shot, last time he got shot in the shoulder, not the stomach, but still. Not only because of that, but because Morgan is just like, any clear Morgan we've seen, this is like demon clear Morgan. Let's just leave it at that. No side of him is compassionate at this point. Not even listening to reason. But Rick turns to Morgan, who's on the ground, and slowly opening his eyes, getting ready to possibly attack again, and says that he didn't want to do this or not believe him, but it's what had to be done. He couldn't just leave Dwayne there as a walker. It wouldn't be right. And that he's really, really sorry for his friend. But Morgan, any side of him that was the old clear Morgan that might have been able to listen or talk is gone. Is absolutely 110%, without a doubt, gone. And says that he feels that Rick is responsible for all this, and he does not deem him a friend anymore. After all this, after saving his life, this is how he repays him? By not believing him, by doing all this, and then killing his son's walker. He left him up there for a reason, and unlike the Morgan who didn't know he was up there, this Morgan knows, because remember, he's still crazy, beyond crazy, and says that if he and everyone here doesn't get out of here right now, they're gonna join that guy Travis there on that track. Dead. They all have 5 seconds to get out of here and never come back, because he is getting really ready to just kill every single one of them. Any compassion he had for Rick at this point is gone. He trusted him. He saved him. And this is how they throw it all in his face with all these new people and everything like that. He is done with Rick. And his eyes, blood red. Not only from the gunshot with him slowly dying, but just pure, unadulterated, bloody malice deem into Rick's very being. And this hits Rick hard, not only for fear of what Morgan will do to all of them, but betrayal. He did all this because he wanted Morgan to trust him again. He wanted him to know that he didn't want to go along with this, but Morgan's just not listening. And this really, really breaks Rick. And besides shooting Dwayne's walker, this is the first sign of real character development that Rick would have had in this story. And knows that they just have to go. And every one of them leaves without a second thought. Back at Woodbury, Daryl is put in charge because they're realistically, besides, like, I don't know, Nick, Alicia, stuff like that. Besides them, there really isn't anyone, like, also Dale, to really be put in charge. So Daryl is obviously the one to be put in charge here until Rick and them get back. And everything seems to be going good, nothing too out of the ordinary, everyone recovering after the whole governor incident, whenever all of a sudden they hear a bunch of knocks at the door. And they're thinking that these are walkers, but they open up the door to find 3 people with a truck behind them. Their names are Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene. Abraham steps up, introduces him and the 2 of his sidekicks, and says that they are here for help, and that Eugene has the cure for all of this, and he wants every one of this people's town to join them in their quest to save the world. Now, with everything that's happened with Morgan and Rick and all of them, how will them coming back to all of this affect the rest of the story? Do you think that they'll even want to join Abraham and Rosita and Eugene? And if they do, how do you think the story will progress, especially with Morgan out for true malice, seeming not to ever come back? And that's where we leave things for the moment. It also definitely leaves on a good cliffhanger to see if Morgan will actually end up dying in the story, which I've covered before, albeit later, like Savior arc, or not even wanting to talk to Eastman at all. But that's where we leave things for the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this part. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Leave a comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.